Vedanta. A Hindu philosophy based on the doctrine of the Upanishads. Vehement. Showing strong feeling, forceful or passionate. Vinaigrette. A salad dressing of oil, wine vinegar, and seasoning. Walkman. Trademark, a type of personal stereo. Weenie. Another term for wiener, sense for. Wet. Sharpen the blade of a tool or weapon. Yesteryear. Literary last year or the recent past. Airspeed. The speed of an aircraft relative to the air through which it is moving. Anglophone. English speaking. Antiretroviral. Working against or targeted against retroviruses, especially HIV. Antithetical. Opposed to or incompatible with each other. Antler. Each of a pair of branched horns on the head of an adult male deer. Aromatherapy. The use of aromatic oils obtained from plants for healing or to promote well-being. Ayurveda. The traditional Hindu system of medicine, using diet, herbal treatment, and yogic breathing. Bellini. A cocktail consisting of peach juice mixed with champagne. Bevel. In carpentry, a sloping surface or edge. Birdsong. The musical sounds made by birds. Bookmaker. A person whose job is to take bets, calculate odds, and pay out winnings. Buzzword. Informal, a technical word or phrase that has become fashionable. Cacophony. A mixture of loud and unpleasant sounds. Castaway. A person who has been shipwrecked and stranded in an isolated place. Cenotaph. A monument to members of the armed forces killed in a war. Chink. Informal, offensive, a Chinese person. Chink. Make a light, high-pitched ringing sound, like that of glasses or coins striking each other. Clack. Make a sharp sound as of a hard object striking another. Collation. The action of collating something. Conservator. A person involved in conservation. Covey. A small flock of game birds, especially partridge. Crimp. Press something into small folds or ridges. Deflate. Let air or gas out of a tire, balloon, etc. Demonize. Portray as wicked or threatening. Denunciation. Public condemnation of someone or something. Diazepam. A tranquilizing drug used to relieve anxiety. Dismount. Get off or down from a horse or bicycle. Diuretic. Causing an increase in the flow of urine. Doppelganger. A ghost or double of a living person. Drawbridge. A bridge that is hinged at one end so that it can be raised. Drudge. A person made to do hard, menial, or dull work. Dwindle. Gradually become smaller or weaker. Enchantress. A woman who uses magic or sorcery, especially to put someone under a spell. Encircle. Surround or form a circle around someone or something. Etiology. Medicine the cause of a disease or condition. Exonerate. Officially state that someone has not done something wrong or illegal. Eyesore. A very ugly thing. Face-off. A direct confrontation. Facile. Of an idea, remark, etc., simplistic and lacking careful thought. Fertilize. Introduce sperm or pollen into an egg, female animal, or plant to develop a new individual. Fluted. Having a series of decorative grooves. Foreshore. The part of a shore between high and low water marks, or between the water and cultivated or developed land. Gangbang. Informal one, a gang rape. Gizmo. Informal, a clever device, a gadget. Glycine. Biochemistry, the simplest naturally occurring amino acid. Goop. Informal, sloppy or sticky matter. Grimace. A twisted expression on a person's face, expressing disgust, pain, or wry amusement. Groggy. Feeling dazed, weak, or unsteady. Guano. The excrement of seabirds, used as a fertilizer. Guava. A tropical American fruit with pink juicy flesh. Hematoma. A solid swelling of clotted blood within the tissues. HEW. Chop or cut wood, coal, etc., with an axe, pick, or other tool. Histology. The branch of biology concerned with the microscopic structure of tissues. Idiopathic. Relating to any disease or condition that arises spontaneously or for which the cause is unknown. Immigrate. Come to live permanently in a foreign country. Implacable. Unwilling to stop opposing someone or something. Indemnify. Compensate someone for harm or loss. Indiscretion. Behavior or an act or remark that is indiscreet or shows a lack of good judgment. Infirm. Physically weak. Intermodal. Involving two or more different modes of transport. Jailer. A person in charge of a jail or its prisoners. Lacing. A laced fastening of a shoe or garment. Lengthwise. In a direction parallel with the length of something. Linoleum. A floor covering consisting of a canvas backing thickly coated with a preparation of linseed oil and powdered cork. Listeria. A type of bacterium that infects humans and other animals through contaminated food. Lyre. A stringed instrument like a small U-shaped harp with strings fixed to a crossbar, used especially in ancient Greece. Magnanimous. Generous or forgiving, especially toward a rival or less powerful person. Magus. Magi/Magi/what, a priest of ancient Persia. Narc. Informal, a federal agent or police officer who enforces laws regarding the sale or use of illicit drugs. Nitride. A compound of nitrogen with another element or group. Notional. Based on an estimate or theory, hypothetical. Obliging. Willing to help someone or do as they ask. Obverse. The side of a coin or metal with the head or main design. Offing. The more distant part of the sea in view. Offstage. And adverb, in a theater, not on the stage and so not visible to the audience. Palatial. Resembling a palace, especially in being impressively spacious or grand. Parley. A meeting between opponents or enemies to discuss terms for a truce. Paucity. The presence of something in only small or insufficient quantities or amounts. Pelagic. Technical one relating to the open sea. Pithy. Of language or style, concise and expressing a point clearly. Pittance. A very small or inadequate amount of money. Plop. A sound like that of a small solid object dropping into water. Pullover. A knitted garment put on over the head and covering the top half of the body. Raster. A rectangular pattern of parallel scanning lines followed by the electron beam on a television screen or computer monitor. Registrant. A person who registers for something. Repaint. Cover something with a new coat of paint. Repulsion. A feeling of intense distaste or disgust. Resistive. Technical able to resist something. Resurgent. Becoming stronger, or more active or popular again. Seditious. Inciting or causing people to rebel against the authority of a government or ruler. Señor. A title or form of address for a Spanish-speaking man, corresponding to Mr. or Sir. Short-sighted. Not thinking carefully about the consequences of something. Sinker. A weight used to keep a fishing line beneath the water. Smartass. Informal another term for smart aleck. Smart bomb. Sortie. An attack made by troops coming out from a position of defense. Sortie. Arranged systematically in groups. Starburst. A pattern of lines or rays radiating from a central point. Statuette. A small statue. Storeroom. A room in which items are stored. Swig. Drink deeply and quickly. Taxidermy. The art of preparing, stuffing, and mounting the skins of animals so that they appear lifelike. Tenor. Brit. Thankless. Of a job or task, unpleasant and unlikely to be appreciated by others. Titian. Bright golden auburn. Triceps. The large muscle at the back of the upper arm. Unappealing. Not inviting or attractive. Uncivilized. Not having developed a modern culture or way of life. Undoubted. Not questioned or doubted by anyone. Unpatriotic. Not patriotic. Unrepentant. Showing no regret for one's wrongdoings. Untidy. Not arranged tidily. Usable. Variant spelling of usable. Use by date. Velodrome. A cycle racing track with steeply banked curves. Washy. Of color, pale. Wince. Give a slight involuntary grimace or flinch due to pain or distress. Woodbine. Another term for Virginia creeper. Wrecker. A person or thing that wrecks something. Acetylcholine. Biochemistry, a compound that occurs throughout the nervous system, in which it functions as a neurotransmitter. Adherent. A person who supports a particular party, person, or set of ideas. Adulation. Excessive admiration. Antecedent. A thing that occurs or exists before another. Aphasia. The inability to understand or produce speech, as a result of brain damage. Aphrodisiac. A food, drink, or other thing that arouses sexual desire. Aristotelian. Relating to the theories of the Greek philosopher Aristotle, 384 to 322 BC. Asunder. Literary apart. Backstabbing. The action of criticizing someone while pretending to be friendly. Backstop. A person or thing placed at the rear of or behind something as a barrier, support, or reinforcement. Bimonthly. An adverb appearing or taking place twice a month or every 2 months. Binocular. Adapted for or using both eyes. Bioethics. The ethics of medical and biological research. Bloat. Swell or cause to swell with fluid or gas. Bolus. A small rounded mass of something, especially of food being swallowed. Break-in. An illegal forced entry in order to steal something. Bruiser. Informal, derogatory, a tough, aggressive person. Bylaw. A rule made by a company or society to regulate the actions of its members. Cellophane. Trademark, a thin transparent wrapping material made from viscose. Choker. A necklace or band of fabric that fits closely around the neck. Chrysalis. A dormant insect pupa, especially of a butterfly or moth. Convalescent. Recovering from an illness or medical treatment. Couscous. A North African dish of steamed or soaked semolina, usually served with spicy meat or vegetables. Crone. An ugly old woman. Crystallography. The branch of science concerned with the structure and properties of crystals. Decry. Express strong public disapproval of something. Dirtbag. Informal, a physically or morally repulsive person. Disavow. Deny any responsibility or support for something. Discordant. Not in harmony or agreement. Downy. Covered with fine soft hair or feathers. Dualism. Division into two opposed or contrasted aspects, such as good and evil or mind and matter. Evidentiary. Chiefly law, another term for evidential. Exalt. Praise someone or something highly. Fairground. An outdoor area where a fair is held. Fancier. A person who has a special interest in or breeds a particular animal. Fatherly. Like a father, especially in being protective and affectionate. Faultless. Free from defect or error. Faultless. Criticize someone or something for being unsatisfactory. Feedstock. Raw material used to supply a machine or industrial process. Fistula. An abnormal or surgically made passage between a hollow or tubular organ and the body surface, or between two hollow or tubular organs. Foxtrot. A ballroom dance with alternation of slow and quick steps. Frizzy. Formed of a mass of small, tight curls. Have. Divide something into two parts of equal size. Harlot. Old, use a prostitute or promiscuous woman. Headbutt. Attack someone by hitting them hard with the head. Heifer. A young female cow that has not had a calf. Humbug. False or misleading talk or behavior. IME. Decorate, adorn, ornament, enhancement, finishing touch. Impetuous. Acting or done quickly and without thought or care. Indignity. Treatment or circumstances that cause one to feel ashamed or embarrassed. Inflorescence. The complete flower head of a plant, including stems, stalks, bracts, and flowers. Inky. As dark as ink. Jaunt. A short trip for pleasure. Laud. Formal praise someone or something highly. Legation. A diplomatic minister and their staff. Letterhead. A printed heading on stationery, stating the sender's name and address. Levity. The treatment of a serious matter with humor or lack of respect. Louse. PL. Malayan. Another term for Malay. Malfeasance. Law wrongdoing, especially by a public official. Mechanistic. Relating to the theory that all natural processes can be explained in purely physical terms. Misinterpret. Interpret something wrongly. Misstep. A badly judged step. Morello. A kind of sour dark cherry used in cooking. Nawab. A native governor during the time of the Mughal Empire. Newsreader. Brit. Nori. Seaweed, eaten fresh or dried in sheets. Olympiad. A staging of the Olympic Games. Oration. A formal speech made on a public occasion. Paneling. Wooden panels used as a decorative covering for a wall. Paschal. Relating to Easter. Pec. Informal, a pectoral muscle. Piezoelectric. Relating to electric polarization produced in certain crystals by the application of mechanical stress. Plinth. A heavy base supporting a statue or vase. Polypeptide. A peptide consisting of many amino acids bonded together in a chain, e.g., in a protein. Postulate. Assume that something is true, as a basis for a theory or discussion. Probiotic. A substance that stimulates the growth of beneficial microorganisms, especially the natural bacteria in the intestines. Propylene. A hydrocarbon gas obtained by cracking petroleum, used for making plastics and other chemicals. Prosaic. Of language, not imaginative or original. Pyrotechnics. A firework display. Quandary. A state of uncertainty over what to do in a difficult situation. Rationalism. The belief that opinions and actions should be based on reason and knowledge rather than on religious belief or emotions. Rebut. Claim or prove that evidence or an accusation is false. Reheat. Heat something again. Reinvest. Put the profit on a previous investment back into the same scheme. Remorseful. Filled with deep regret or guilt. Reversion. A return to a previous state, practice, or belief. Rhinestone. An imitation diamond. Scrip. A certificate that demonstrates ownership of stocks, shares, and bonds, especially a certificate relating to an issue of additional shares to shareholders in proportion to the shares they already hold. Scruff. The back of a person's or animal's neck. Seafaring. Regularly traveling by sea. Sheaf. A bundle of papers. Siesta. An afternoon rest or nap, especially one taken regularly in hot countries. Speedometer. An instrument on a vehicle's dashboard that indicates its speed. Squalid. Very dirty and unpleasant. Stringed. Having strings. Submerge. Push or hold someone or something underwater. Surfactant. A substance, such as a detergent, that is added to a liquid to increase its spreading or wetting properties by reducing its surface tension. Sweltering. Uncomfortably hot. Tarn. A small mountain lake. Tater. Informal of potato. Taxicab. A taxi. Themself. Informal used instead of himself or herself to refer to a person whose sex is not specified. Thunk. And verb informal term for thud. Thunk. Informal or humorous past and past participle of think. Tupelo. A North American or Asian tree of damp and swampy habitats that yields useful timber. Unabashed. Not embarrassed or ashamed. Unencumbered. Not burdened or prevented from moving or acting freely. Unfilled. Not filled, vacant or empty. Unjustifiable. Impossible to justify. Vicarious. Experienced in the imagination after watching or reading about another person's actions or feelings. Villainy. Wicked or criminal behavior. Vizier. Historical, a high-ranking official in some Muslim countries. Whimsy. Playfully unusual behavior or humor. Wicca. The religious cult of modern witchcraft. Workpiece. An object being worked on with a tool or machine. Wormwood. A woody shrub with a bitter taste, used as an ingredient of vermouth and absinthe and in medicine. Wrangle. A long and complicated dispute or argument. Zircon. A brown or semi-transparent mineral, used as a gem and in industry. Agitator. A person who urges others to protest or rebel. Albedo. The proportion of the incident light or radiation that is reflected by a surface, typically that of the Earth, the Moon, or some other celestial object. Amateurish. Not done or made skillfully. Angelus. A Roman Catholic prayer commemorating the incarnation of Jesus, said at morning, noon, and sunset. Angora. A cat, goat, or rabbit opha long-haired breed. Anyplace. Informal term for anywhere. Appetizing. Causing a pleasant feeling of hunger. Applicator. A device for inserting or applying something. Bleacher. A cheap bench seat in an uncovered part of a sports arena. Bloodshot. Having the whites tinged with blood. Bronchial. Relating to the bronchi or bronchioles. Brownstone. A kind of reddish attempting to hide something unpleasant. Butterscotch. A candy or syrup made with melted butter and brown sugar. Caboose. A railroad car with accommodations for the crew, typically at the end of a train. Calcareous. Containing calcium carbonate, chalky. Callus. A thickened and hardened part of the skin or soft tissue. Carotene. An orange or red substance found in carrots and many other plants, important in the formation of vitamin A. Cherub. PL. Clearinghouse. A banker's establishment where checks and bills from member banks are exchanged. Conceptualize. Form an idea or concept of something in the mind. Conifer. A tree bearing cones and evergreen needle-like or scale-like leaves, e.g., a pine or cypress. Corker. Informal and excellent person or thing. Courtly. Very polite and dignified. Cutlass. A short sword with a slightly curved blade, formerly used by sailors. Cybernetics. The science of communications and automatic control systems in both machines and living things. Cymbal. A musical instrument consisting of a slightly concave round brass plate that is either struck against another one or hit with a stick. Darjeeling. A high-quality tea grown in northern India. Denigrate. Criticize someone or something in an unfair way. Detonator. A device or charge used to detonate an explosive. Disuse. The state of not being used. Existentialism. A philosophical theory that emphasizes that human beings are free agents, responsible for their own actions. Extradite. Hand over a person accused or convicted of a crime in another state or a foreign country to the legal authority of that state or country. Extricate. Free from a difficult or restrictive situation or place. Faro. A gambling card game in which players bet on the order in which the cards will appear. Fibula. The outer of the two bones between the knee and the ankle, parallel with the tibia. Fidget. Make small movements through nervousness or impatience. Flippant. Not treating something with the appropriate seriousness or respect. Fondue. A dish in which small pieces of food are dipped into melted cheese, a hot sauce, or hot oil. Ganglion. Anatomy and medicine. A structure containing a number of nerve cells, often forming a swelling on a nerve fiber. Geranium. A garden plant with red, pink, or white flowers, a pelargonium. Gingerly. In a careful or cautious way. Goer. A person who regularly attends a specified place or event. Grouchy. Irritable and bad-tempered, grumpy. Grown-up. Adult. Gusty. 41 characterized by or blowing in gusts. Hedonism. Behavior based on the belief that pleasure is the most important thing in life. Hereof. Formal of this document. Heretofore. Formal before now. Immemorial. Existing from before what can be remembered or found in records. Inequity. Lack of fairness or justice. Infotainment. Broadcast programs that present news and serious subjects in an entertaining way. Insinuate. Suggest or hint at something bad in an indirect and unpleasant way. Iodide. A compound of iodine with another element or group. Jacobite. A supporter of the deposed James II and his descendants in their claim to the British throne after the Revolution of 1688. Jumpstart. Start a car with a dead battery by using jumper cables or by a sudden release of the clutch while it is being pushed. Kabuki. A form of traditional Japanese drama performed by men, with stylized song, mime, and dance. Kindling. Small sticks or twigs used for lighting fires. Knell. Literary. The sound of a bell ringing to mark a person's death. Leer. Look or gaze in a lustful or unpleasant way. Legume. A plant of the pea family grown as a crop. Linesman. In sports, an official who assists the referee or umpire in deciding whether the ball is out of play. Matter. A red dye or pigment obtained from the roots of a plant. Malign. Harmful or evil. Mandrake. A plant with a forked fleshy root supposedly resembling the human form, used in herbal medicine and magic. Marinate. Soak meat, fish, or other food in a marinade. Mark. A make of car, as distinct from a specific model. Millisecond. 1/1000th of a second. Moiety. Formal or technical, each of two parts into which a thing is or can be divided. Morsel. A small piece of food. Mugshot. Informal, a photograph of a person's face made for an official purpose, especially police records. Nary. Informal or dialect form of not. Newsflash. A short broadcast of important news that often interrupts other programs. Nocturne. A short musical composition of aromantic and dreamy nature. Non-governmental. Not belonging to or associated with any government. Paleolithic. Archaeology relating to the early phase of the Stone Age, up to the end of the glacial period. Patrolman. A patrolling police officer. Pert. Attractively lively or cheeky. Predate. Exist or occur at a date earlier than something. Predominate. Be the main element in something. Printout. A page of printed material from a computer's printer. Proofread. Read printer's proofs and mark any errors. Prophylactic. Intended to prevent disease. Prophylaxis. Action taken to prevent disease. Pull-out. Designed to be detached and kept. Puppeteer. A person who works puppets. Purist. A person who insists on following traditional rules, especially in language or style. Radiography. The process of taking radiographs to assist in medical examinations. Rajput. A member of a Hindu military caste. Reiki. A healing technique based on the belief that the therapist can channel energy into the patient by means of touch, to activate the natural healing processes of the patient's body. Repairman. A person who repairs vehicles, machinery, or appliances. Ringleader. A person who leads others in crime or causing trouble. Rococo. Relating to an elaborately ornate style of European furniture or architecture of the 18th century. Rottweiler. A large, powerful black and tan breed of dog. Scurry. Move hurriedly with short, quick steps. Sidestep. Avoid someone or something by stepping sideways. Slaw. Coleslaw. Smokescreen. Something intended to disguise someone's real intentions or activities. Snide. Disrespectful or mocking in an indirect way. Sprocket. Each of several projections on the rim of a wheel that fit into the links of a chain or holes in film, tape, or paper. Squabble. A quarrel about an unimportant matter. Steeplechase. A horse race run on a racetrack that has ditches and hedges as jumps. Stopwatch. A special watch with buttons that start and stop the display, used to time races. stranglehold. A grip around a person's neck that deprives them of oxygen and so can kill them. Subfamily. A subdivision of a group, especially the taxonomic category that ranks below family and above tribe or genus. Sulfate. British spelling of SUT fate. Tachycardia. An abnormally rapid heart rate. Tactful. Having or showing skill and sensitivity in dealing with others or with difficult issues. Tamarind. Sticky brown acidic pulp from the pod of a tropical African tree, used in Asian cooking. Telco. A telecommunications company. Theism. Belief in the existence of a god or gods, specifically of a creator who intervenes in the universe. Theocracy. A system of government in which priests rule in the name of God or a god. Toenail. A nail on the upper surface of the tip of each toe. Transfiguration. A complete transformation into a more beautiful or spiritual state. Trellis. A framework of bars used as a support for climbing plants. Tryptophan. An amino acid that is a constituent of most proteins and is an essential nutrient in the diet of vertebrates. Typescript. A typed copy of a written work. Understaffed. Having too few members of staff to operate effectively. Unflinching. Not afraid or hesitant. Uninhibited. Expressing oneself or acting freely and naturally. Unpretentious. Not pretentious, modest or unassuming. Unprocessed. Not processed. Unseat. Make someone fall from a saddle or seat. Vermouth. A red or white wine flavored with herbs. Viewfinder. A device on a camera that the user looks through in order to see what will appear in the photograph. Watchmaker. A person who makes and repairs watches and clocks. Whitefish. A mainly freshwater fish of the salmon family, widely used as food. Workbench. A bench at which carpentry or other mechanical or practical work is done. Wriggle. Twist and turn with quick short movements. Yo-yo. Trademark, in the UK, a toy consisting of a pair of joined discs with a deep groove between them in which string is attached and wound, which can be spun down and up by its weight as the string unwinds and rewinds. Acquit. Formally declare that someone is not guilty of a criminal charge. Adjuvant. Applied after initial treatment for cancer to prevent secondary tumors. Admixture. Technical admixture. Aftershock. A smaller earthquake following the main shock of a large earthquake. Albumin. A form of protein that is soluble in water and is found especially in blood serum and egg white. Aline. Slightly flared from a narrow waist or shoulders. Anchovy. A small fish of the herring family, with a strong flavor. Anguished. Feeling or expressing severe pain or distress. Antagonize. Make hostile. Anthracite. Hard coal that burns with little flame and smoke. Artifice. The use of skill or cunning in order to trick or deceive. Bidet. A low basin used for washing one's genital and anal area. Bluster. Talk in a loud or aggressive way with little effect. Bookworm. Informal, a person who greatly enjoys reading. Brute. Very dry. Bung. A stopper for a hole in a container. Burqa. Variant spelling of burqa. Calvinism. The form of Protestantism of John Calvin, 1509–64, centering on the belief that God has decided everything that happens in advance. Cannery. A factory where food is canned. Carcinogen. A substance that can cause cancer. Catamaran. A sailboat or other boat with twin parallel hulls. Changeling. A child believed to have been secretly substituted by fairies for the parent's real child. Check-in. The place at an airport where a passenger registers before departure. Cookware. Pots, pans, or dishes in which food can be cooked. Corduroy. A thick cotton fabric with velvety ribs. Counterculture. A way of life and set of attitudes that are at variance with those accepted by most of society. Criminalize. Make an activity illegal. Crummy. Informal, bad or unpleasant. Demean. Cause a loss of dignity or respect for. Diatribe. A harsh and forceful verbal attack. Dinar. The basic unit of money of Bosnia and Serbia. Disassemble. Take something to pieces. Disparage. Suggest that someone or something is worthless or unimportant. Ditty. Ditties, a short simple song. Dogfight. A close combat between military aircraft. Downfield. In or toe, a position nearer to the opponent's end of a field. Droll. Amusing in a strange or unexpected way. Drudgery. Hard, menial, or dull work. Durian. A tropical Asian fruit with a fetid smell but pleasant taste. Erg. Physics, a unit of work or energy. Exoplanet. A planet that orbits a star outside the solar system. Fader. A device for varying the volume of sound in a movie or video recording, or the intensity of light. Feign. Pretend to feel or have. Garish. Unpleasantly bright and showy, lurid. Geodetic. Relating to geodesy, especially as applied to land surveying. Gringo. Informal, derogatory, in Latin America, a white English-speaking person. Gunslinger. Informal, a person who carries a gun. Hansard. The official word-for-word record of debates in the British, Canadian, Australian, New Zealand, or South African Parliament.